What's up with you folks? Man, alright, I did one earlier, but I wanted to get one in this evening, man, before the evening was out on this George Floyd trial that started today. Man, I'm sitting at work today, man, and I don't want to use the word forgot, but they reminded me of, man, shit, how vicious that shit was, you know what I mean? They replayed the video, man. I can't even call him an officer, the damn murderer, man, with his knee on that man's neck like that, you know. And it's like, man, it makes you like think like, man, it's 2021 and we still sitting there fighting to be treated like humans, you know what I mean? And it's like the police are just reckless with it. And they wonder why we have zero respect for them, you know what I'm saying? And I was listening to the opening statements from the prosecutors and the defense. They had the 911 operator on there, man, and she was like, this shit like really changed her life, man. She was just regular day doing her job. And then, the 911 operating place, they have like screens there. And she's looking on the screen, you know what I mean? And she see what's going on. And she said her instincts were just telling her like something wasn't right because normally she don't see stuff like that. So she's taking other calls, going back to his screen, looking at this one, you know what I mean? And she's testifying this, you know what I mean? And it's like, she said she's looking and she see him moving from the car, then down to the ground, and it's no sound. So she's seeing this, just looking at it from like a television. And for you to be able to just see that and tell something's not right, when they have protocol, when you see like over excessive force and stuff like that, you have to call a sergeant, you know what I mean, and let them know this need to be like intervened, that someone needs to interject here. And she called the sergeant, and you can tell it's like the protocol is not, nobody's comfortable doing it. You know what I mean? The first thing she said to the sergeant was, I don't care if y'all call me a snitch or not, but something's not right there, you know what I mean? Y'all need to see what's going on. And they're asking her like, man, what made you think that? She's like, I don't know what made me feel like something was wrong. I could just tell. And I was just looking at it from a screen in a 911, you know, basically center, you know what I mean? And she was like, man, that like really disturbed this lady. But they don't get it. And what was it? 9 minutes, 39 seconds. It's a long time to be on somebody's neck. And he just had a power kick, you know what I mean? He basically just showed he was in control because they already when they was trying to get him in the car, George Floyd was trying to tell him he was claustrophobic. Could he count down to getting into the car? And that study trying to force him into the car. And he's telling them, you know what I mean, I'm claustrophobic. I feel like I'm going to die if I get in there. I'm going to smother. And anybody that's claustrophobic will probably understand you can't be held down and you'll go crazy. You know what I mean? Some old ladies like that. You know what I mean? Shit, if you playing wrestling around with her and shit, you know what I mean? She'll spaz out, you know what I mean? Because she can't be confined like that. That shit is real. And by them not being able to pretty much just forcefully manhandle him into the car, that's why this officer got in his feelings. He slammed him on down to the ground and then put his knee in his fucking neck and was showing him who was boss. That was an ego trip. That's all it was an ego trip. And then he pretty much proved to him, I don't I'm going to show you who's superior, because he felt inferior at that time when he couldn't force him to be thrown into that car. And that's all it was, man. If you look at the evidence alone in this case is enough for a guilty verdict. But we all know guilt and innocence has nothing to do with the evidence when it comes to police officers and black men in the black community. We all know that. So that's the furthest thing from what we fight. So we all need to make sure we're aware and letting it be known that we're paying vigilant attention to this trial. We all need to let it be known that we're involved in this. We all need to be all alert and on hands on deck with what's going on, so they know this is serious, and they're gonna try to, because the family settled with this 27 million, they're gonna try to make it like that's just enough if he's found innocent. They already settled, so that's enough. No, the fuck it's not. It's not enough. 100 million wouldn't have been enough. You understand what I'm saying? And then they got the black guy that was there on the scene. And he trains officers. You understand what I'm saying? He let them know I have no reason to be against the police officers, even though I'm a black man. I train these guys. I have an objection with police officers, but I'm letting them know I know what you're doing. You're cringing. You're studying. He was lifting and turning his knee into his neck, which was putting more pressure on his neck. You know what I mean? He was lifting up, resetting it, lifting up, resetting it. You know what I mean? He knew what he was doing. He was letting them know, I'm a martial artist. I do MMA. I do mixed martial arts. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're doing. And nowhere in the police training is that knee used or taught. So he knew what he was doing. He was showing him, boy, I'm in control of this. Because he felt overpowered while he had him in cuffs and just couldn't physically dominate him. That's the problem. Most of them, and people don't understand when we holler about debunk and defund the police, people are not talking about just snatch them off the streets, take police off the streets. That's not what it's about. You need to retrain these officers. You need to reprogram these officers' mentality, because when you have, excuse me, and majority of the time you have these white officers who have zero interaction or very limited interaction with urban black men on a regular basis. And so you have this perception of us already. You already have this fear of us. You already have this dislike or this disdain for us already. And then you come and police our neighborhoods. So when you pull us over, you already have a aggression. You're already tight when they come to us. It's different. Same incident. You pull a white guy over for a traffic ticket. Hey, buddy, how you are, man? It's just your light. When they pull us over, it's automatic. They're on edge. They fear us instantly, and they're trained to fear us. They're trained to be more aware of what we could do to them. And that's bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Because they feel inferior to us. You understand what I'm saying? So that means you shouldn't be policing us. You shouldn't be policing us. And that's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? You have to, if you're not living, I feel as though if you're not living in the area that you're policing in, you shouldn't be policing there. You understand that? There should be some distance in that. And I understand they use that, well, you can't be directly policing here, then Somebody might be able to do something to your family. It has to be some distance. You can't be over from another town and then come police down here and you have zero, and I mean zero interaction with these fellas. And then you come and you're trying to have your job is to abide by the law. And it's not going to work. It's proven it doesn't work. And we're studying on through this. We're studying on through this. And everybody always, all you have to do is, what the fuck is all you have to do is? All you have to do is nothing. We automatically, they come at us aggressive off the rip. They come at us with an attitude off the rip. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of brothers come with aggression with them off the rip, unnecessarily, but that's because for your entire life, if you've been, every interaction you've been having with a police officer, especially most white police officers, it's attitude and it's headbutting and how to treat you. You're going to have a disdain for them. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we've been going through forever. You know, I had the first gun I had pulled out of me with a police officer, I was 9 years old. 9 years old. What was I going to do to a police officer at 9 years old? He pulled a fucking gun out on me at 9 years old. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Sad, right? But a lot of, they'll never understand. They'll never understand how we don't have a trust for police. I was beaten in the nuts with a 5-pound leg weight by police officers. And as he's beating me and my buddies, to each one of us in the room, one at a time. When I hear my buddies some straight up G's, I hear them in there yelling. Like, what the fuck is they doing by the time they holding us down with our legs spread open, hitting us in the nuts. I remember Officer Wells and Officer Patterson. And they sitting there telling us, I hope we can never have none of you little nigger babies beating us in the nuts with the fucking leg weight. I was a teenager. We didn't report nothing. It was normal. It was normal. it was normal. We were used to it. So it's like, you know what I mean? This has been going on for generations, generations, and generations. So this is not new. But what we need to do is make sure we stay on top of them with this case. They're gonna try to throw up what he was getting. It was an overdose. It was not an overdose. Yes, he might have had fentanyl in his system because he was a drug user. So he had drugs in his system. And what they don't understand and what they won't send to regular America, if you're an everyday drug user, the amount of fentanyl that was in his system, it might kill you, but it didn't kill a man that's 6'3", 220-something pounds that get high every day. His body's conditioned for it. We know that, but they're not going to present it that way. They're going to present this because they're trying to get just a little bit of doubt. Just a little bit of doubt. But if you go off the evidence and the evidence alone, they killed that man. And then you got the other officer sitting there. Yeah, kids, this is what you get if you use drugs. The fuck do him having his knee in his neck, taking his breath up out of him got to do with using drugs? Not a thing at all. Nothing at all. And I mean, it's despicable. That was hard for me to watch again today, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's definitely emotional. It's going to be an emotional roller coaster ride for a lot of people. But, man, let's make sure we stay on top of this. Let's make sure we not let up on this. Let's put our foot on their neck, making them do the right thing. And we're going to make sure justice is prevailed, you know what I mean? To the George Floyd family, power to the people, all right? Like, subscribe, and share. Going to be doing more videos on this case. I'm definitely following it all the way to the end. You know what I mean? This is time for a change, man. One way or another. It's time for a change. Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, Chi-Town's finest. And I'm out.